The Anzac Day duel between the Sydney Roosters and St George Illawarra has become entrenched as a special occasion on our great nation's sporting calendar. And this edition of the rivalry was even more significant because it was also the first time that it had doubled as a grand final rematch. Persistent rain had fallen for most of the day, but fortunately it stopped by kick-off time and allowed the ceremonial side of the afternoon to take place unobstructed. The first real chance of this encounter fell to the Dragons, and it was only the cover of Sean Kenny Dow that prevented Brett Morris from opening his account for 2011.
Cooper, quick hands, Morris searching for his first four-pointer.
Clean breaks were hard to come by in the first 40, however the Premiers seemed the most likely side to do it.
He comes to Minicello.
After putting Hornby through on that occasion, Mark Gasnier found himself in the right spot to collect the dregs from a Jamie Soward searcher.
A chance for Nightingale up against Carney. Carney lost the ball. Gasnier came through, and the Dragons might have their first try.
Soward's reliable left boot turned 4 into 6. This affair was always going to take the form of football trench warfare, but that was especially so on the heavy track, with the normally disciplined Dragons making the assignment much harder than it should have been.
And then Michael Wayman gives the referee a bit of free advice, and it costs him a penalty, and 10 metres.
However, the Premier's defence remained resolute and worthy of the occasion, as they bravely repelled raid after Rooster raid.
It's Nightingale up against Carney once again. It's a mismatch.
Sydney's best opportunity evolved on the left late in the half. However, the last pass from Phil Graham was deemed forward.
You have to take your chances against the Dragons. You may only get 4 or 5.
The Tricolours remained trialless and retreated to the sheds on the wrong end of a 6-0 scoreline. The second half had a horrible start for the hosts when Jared Warrior-Hargreaves surrendered possession on the very first tackle. And that invited St George Illawarra to have another shot at their try line.
But now he flips it out the back to Gasnier, stepping. Coming with him is Darius Boyd. He goes and scores for the Dragons.
Brian Smith's side simply had to be the next to score. And with just under half an hour left, Justin Carney atoned for some earlier errors.
Give it to Anasta, good hands by the 5'8". Graham to Carney, reaching out to plant it down, and they might have finally got there.
Well, it's game on.
The Roosters seemed re-energised by that. However, they couldn't counter the lethal left-side combination of Cooper and Morris.
Got a great ball from Cray. He links up with Morris. The drought has been broken. Brett Morris gets his first of the season, and what an important try it is.
That inflated the difference to a seemingly safe 14 points before Mitchell Pearce gave his team a slender ray of hope when he dashed 70 metres from a stray Saints pass.
Picked up by Mitchell Pearce. Now there's a race. Cooper is chasing. Pearce showing plenty of speed. So is Soward, and Mitchell Pearce keeps the Roosters alive.
Ben Cray might have been the man responsible for that blunder, but redemption wasn't far away.
And an intercept taken by Ben Cray. He'll run 80 metres and score. Kennedy is chasing, but he won't get to him, and the Dragons win again on Anzac Day.
That capped off a terrific tussle between the 2010 grand finalists, won by Wayne Bennett's boys 24-10 before an SFS crowd of more than 35,000. Last year's Clive Churchill medalist Darius Boyd received the Spirit of Anzac medal as player of the match, and then joined his satisfied teammates as they put their hands on yet another piece of silverware in the shape of the esteemed Anzac Cup. David Rowlands, Big Pond Sport.